Right. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the live stream. I'm sorry the party's starting to get a little bit louder, so we're really going to have to speak up over here, but hopefully everyone can still hear us perfectly fine on stream. And we're here with the team for Torment, Tides of Numenera. And
indeed.
Now they're seeing all my camera nonsense there. That's good stuff.
Cool.
Why don't we go through and introduce each other and what we do?
Sure. My name is Jeremy Kottman. I'm the lead Crisis designer on Torment, and I'll talk a little bit about what Crisis means in the near future.
Okay.
And I'm George Zeitz. I am lead area designer on Torment.
Okay, so you build the maps?
I design the maps. I don't actually build them, but
right.
I do design the maps. I come up with quests. I came up with a lot of the different scenes and factions and characters and all that kind of stuff that I'll be talking about.
Okay.
I assist with the story, but the story is more Colin McComb, who is not here today.
Okay, thank you. And last but not least,
I'm Josh Scherberg. I'm the animator, lead animator at NXL.
They probably can't hear you, Josh.
Okay.
So you're the lead animator.
Yep.
For Torment.
Yep.
Okay. And what do you? Sorry, weird, random, nerdy question. What do you use for your the 3D design for this? What are you working in?
Predominantly just 3D Studio Max.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, just curious.
Yep.
I do a little game dev, so gotta nerd out. All right, so this is the second Kickstarter title that In Exile has done.
Yep.
So Wasteland 2 is the first, and it's already out. And this is coming out soon, in the next year-ish.
Soon, sure.
Soon. For different values of soon.
Right.
Yeah,
Soon.
so I think, actually I'm not even sure what our current target is, but it will not be in the distant future, I
Right.
think is about all I can say. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she doesn't have a
We're
release
making
date.
good progress, but I don't think we've officially said what we're doing yet.
Right, but like Bard's Tale 4, not, you know, you
Bard's
got
Tale 4
ideas,
is-
but not development active necessarily.
Right.
Torment, very developed active.
We're working on. We are currently in heavy production. We finished one zone. We are in the midst of another, and we have the other two in sort of various stages.
Okay. Now, I know there was a couple of questions right in the queue, but is there something that we want? Oh, we probably want to show the screenshots or the concept art.
Absolutely.
Let me flip over.
Yeah, our awesome city.
Oh, that is dumb.
Slightly off
a
center.
little
It's
small.
not the whole monitor capture. Hold on. Let me adjust this. Come on, you can do it. Width. I don't know why it's not picking it up properly. Let me...
That's almost it.
There we go. I just hit reset. Okay. And we don't want it to autoplay.
So can they see? Can everyone see this?
They should be... Yeah, they can see this.
Okay, cool. So, do we want to talk a little about the game as a whole first, or the world as a whole? Like, where do you want to start?
Well, let's talk about what Torment is designed to be. Now, there's another game with Torment and its title.
Correct.
That people should be very familiar with.
The famous Planescape Torment.
Right.
Which was, how many years is it now? 15? I guess it was 99, I think it came out.
Crazy.
Yep.
Now, that came out basically around the same time as things like your Baldur's Gate and Icewind Dale.
The Infinity Engine classics.
There you go. So if you like classic role-playing games, Western-style role-playing games, you're probably really familiar with Planescape Torment.
Absolutely.
And this is not a sequel.
No, it is a spiritual sequel, is what we call it, which means we're trying to capture the essence and the tone of the original game, but we're not set in the same world. We're not using the same character. We're just we're attacking a lot of the same ideas and themes. That's as far as it goes, and we're also doing a lot of writing, choices and consequences, great dialogue. That is the focus of this game, just as it was in the original Planescape. And if I am not speaking loud enough,
Yeah, maybe lean forward a bit. I'm just worried because the party is getting more and more crazy.
The party is getting loud.
Yeah, as more beer is being consumed.
There's also a boat pulling up.
Oh, of course there's a boat pulling up as well. Sweet. I don't know who decided to make a live stream in the middle of a party. The atmosphere is great, but the production quality might go down a bit.
We'll try to speak up.
So the idea is, if you like Torment Planescape, hopefully you will like this.
Absolutely. We are making the game for our backers, and most of our backers are hardcore fans of Planescape Torment.
Now, you had quite a lot of backers for this. Numerically, wasn't it even superior to Wasteland 2?
Yes. At the time, I believe we were the record breaker, certainly for money, and I think for numbers of backers as well.
Yeah, for games specifically.
Right.
And
Not for movies.
No, but yeah, and only recently surpassed. So.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a really successful Kickstarter.
So this screenshot here, you said this is the city.
Yeah, so this is the city of Sagas Cliffs, it's called. It is actually not our only city in the game, but it is our first city. The player crashes, we can talk more about this later, but the player crashes to Earth at the very beginning of the game, and you can see that dome there with the broken top. The player actually smashes through that dome at the very start of the game. And there are a number of our first zones that are contained within this city. I don't know. Is there a mouse that's visible on this?
I think it should be visible.
All right. Well, hopefully it is.
Yeah.
So if the audience can see my little mouse cursor, this is what we call the Reef of Fallen Worlds. It's an area kind of on the edge of Sagas Cliffs. So if you'd like, I can talk more deeply about what Sagas Cliffs is and where it came from.
Yeah,
you want me
certainly.
to just get into that? Okay. So Sagas Cliffs is a very old city. The ninth world itself, which is our setting, is only about 1,000 years old. Humans have only existed on Earth in the recent past for about 1,000 years. The technology level is roughly medieval, but there are the relics and remnants of many other civilizations that preceded the current one.
Okay.
The ninth world suggests 8 worlds prior, and in fact that's what the people in the ninth world believe, is that there have been 8 worlds that came before this one that rose to tremendous heights and then came crashing down. Not all of them were human, some of them were alien, but the relics of these previous worlds are everywhere in this world. And the term Numenera is actually referring to all of the relics of these previous worlds that is just all over the place and that people use. They cobble them together, they try to make practical use out of them. They don't really understand them, but they figure out how to make them do different things that they may not have been intended to originally do, and then they do cool stuff with them. And that is the basis of the setting that Monty Cook came up with. The Numenera world was a Kickstarter as well. For Monty Cook Games.
I didn't know that.
And we partnered with them to develop the game. Yeah.
So is there a tabletop version of it?
Absolutely, yeah. There's a tabletop version, and there's books that come out, and it's been very successful for a tabletop.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yep. Monty Cook, Shauna Germain, Bruce Cordell, a lot of really great designers over there that are putting out continual supplements for that setting. But anyway, that was kind of a tangent before I got to Sagas Cliffs. So Sagas Cliffs exists within this world. It is a city. What you see here is mostly human construction, mostly built within the last 1,000 years. But as you can see, it's located within this massive crag. And if you're familiar with sort of archaeology in the real world, a lot of ancient cities are actually city built on top of city, built on top of city, like all the way back to the most ancient versions of it. So you'll end up with an ancient city that's essentially a mound, and then if you dig into it, there's other cities underneath. Sagas Cliffs is very much like that, but it goes back millennia and millennia into the previous world. So this is the present-day human construction that you see here, but this whole mound was actually constructed of many other cities from prior worlds that exist underneath the current construction.
To me, that implies there's a lot of potential for dungeons.
Indeed, there is potential for such things. And there are actually some creatures, we'll get to these, but there are some creatures that are burrowing in this mound. And you can befriend them, and they will take you places underground, which will get you potentially to some of those places that you're thinking of. But the present-day city is what you see here, which is the city of Sagas Cliffs. So the city, as you see it here, is about as old as the Ninth World. It's about 1,000 years old. There are 5 main districts that we hit in the game. When you, like I said, when you originally fall to Earth, you hit the Reef of Fallen Worlds, which is which is around in the water here, all around the city, are relics and ancient structures and all this that are sort of buried under the water from those prior worlds. And then you fall to Earth here, you come up a bridge, and then you find yourself in this area here. I really hope they can see my cursor, because otherwise, okay, excellent. So this area here, there is a place we call Circus Minor that I'll get to in a minute. Then there's another area along the cliffs here, kind of a rough neighborhood over here called Cliff's Edge. And way up at the top is the Caravanserai, which is sort of like this Numenera airport / Silk Road caravanserai that you can go and fly places from.
What do you fly on?
Airships. Airships and flyers and all kinds of wacky stuff. And then there is the Government Square, which is over here, which is pretty much what it sounds like, Government Square. Upper class government buildings and stuff, which you'll see in a few moments. And then there is the underbelly, which is that you can sort of see the sea kind of has a little bit of an inlet there, and there's like caverns and stuff as it goes further in. And this sort of network of caves and caverns is inhabited by a lot of the most poor-to-do folks in Saugus Cliffs, and you can go down there and investigate that as well. So 5 main districts in the city that you'll see, and then other places that you can go as well.
It sounds like it's a very big city.
It's a big city. It's a lot of writing.
Yeah.
Does the majority of the gameplay happen within the city itself?
So this is actually just the first zone of the game.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is the initial zone. Then there's some other things that happen after this that I can't really talk about yet. And then after that, you get to, if you can see, kind of coming around the corner here is this giant creature that people live in, and there's all kinds of nasty things happening in here. This is called the Bloom. We've talked a lot about this on our website, on our Kickstarter page. And this is another zone that takes place within this thing that I'm not really talking about today, but we've already talked a lot about it. And then there's, after this, you return to Saugus Cliffs. There's some more things that happen here, and then you go off to another zone that I don't know whether I'm allowed to talk about or not. So I'm just not going to. Have we?
In Kickstarter.
Okay.
Course, yeah.
So it's the Oasis Murajolius, which is kind of another weird city place. It's a big undersea kind of thing. And that is the last big zone of the game. And then there's some other things that happen in the Cast-Off's Labyrinth, which takes place entirely in your mind.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So it's lots of crazy places to explore. I have left you speechless.
I'm just actually checking some questions. There's actually an art-related question here, which might be a good time to ask right now.
Excellent.
Kazanthiax asks, can you ask how the art is coming along and what they think so far of how the art speaks to the setting?
So I would say the art is coming along awesome.
Awesome.
It is. I think it's doing a very good job of speaking to the setting. The first zone that we did was the Bloom, which was a challenge for the artist because it's this giant organic creature that everything is taking place inside of. So you're basically in the guts of this massive predatorial thing. And that was hard. I mean, we came out with some really cool stuff, but it was hard for the artist to kind of figure out what that organic feel was going to be like. Now I think we've kind of hit our stride with what Numenera should feel and look like, and I think we're hitting some really interesting stuff in this Saugus Cliffs, which is what we're working on now. I think we've got most of the scenes in Saugus Cliffs at this point just about done. We're polishing and improving at this point, but there's some really interesting, crazy-looking, weird Numenera stuff that players will get to see in this scene or in this zone.
Sounds good.
Do you guys agree in terms of the art?
Absolutely, yeah.
Cool. I want to make sure I don't hog the mic here.
It's definitely it's